This is the Dark Zero Horror Network. Psychological autopsies.
Welcome back to The Deep Dive, the place where we take your sources, all your notes and research, and build the ultimate shortcut to being well-informed. Today, we are immersing ourselves in the raw, really uncomfortable power of Brian De Palma's 1976 supernatural horror classic, Carrie.
That's right. And if you're focusing in on this film, you already know it's so much more than just a famous prank gone wrong.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
really a foundational text of modern horror. It was the very first Stephen King novel adapted for the screen.
And our mission today is to unpack exactly why it still hits so hard almost 50 years later. We're going to get into the production, De Palma's style, the themes of trauma, and of course, that unforgettable ending.
Before we jump in, though, a huge thank you to all the followers of the Dark Zero Horror Network for supporting the show.
We really appreciate it. And if you're new here, please make sure you like and follow for more deep dives just like this one. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's start with an origin story that is, almost as dramatic as the film itself. Carrie was Stephen King's first published novel, and it's a genuine miracle we ever got to read it.
It really is. The sources are clear on this. He wrote the first 3 pages, hated them, thought the whole thing was terrible, and just threw the pages in the trash.
Gone. Just like that.
Done. But thank goodness for his wife, Tabitha. She found them, pulled them out, read them, and saw the potential. She was the one who convinced him to keep going.
It's one of those moments that, changes literary history. A whole genre might look different without that one act.
It's mind-boggling. And then, just 2 years later, 1976, we get the film. Directed by Brian De Palma, King was only 26 and got a mere $2,500 for the rights.
$2,500. That has to be one of the best investments in movie history.
No kidding. The budget was tiny, like $1.8 million, but it just exploded at the box office. Made almost $34 million.
And it landed at such a perfect time, didn't it? Post-Watergate, post-Vietnam.
Yeah.
People were cynical.
Deeply cynical. And Carrie taps right into that mistrust of institutions. It proved audiences were hungry for stories about people lashing out against a system that failed them.
And that success really hinged on some incredible casting.
Yeah.
Sissy Spacek, she is Carrie White, but she wasn't the obvious choice at first.
Not at all. Her husband, Jack Fisk, who was actually the art director on the film, had to persuade her to even audition.
But when she went for it, she really went for it. The stories about her screen test are legendary.
Oh, yeah. She basically tried to make herself look as awful as possible. She apparently rubbed Vaseline in her hair, didn't wash her face, and wore this old sailor dress her mom had made for her when she was a kid.
That is commitment.
Total commitment. And she isolated herself on set, too. Wore the same clothes, ate alone. She really wanted to feel Carrie's loneliness.
Wow. And the supporting cast is just iconic. Piper Laurie as the mother is terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying. And you've got Amy Irving, a very young John Travolta, as Billy Nolan.
Right before Saturday Night Fever made him a superstar.
Exactly. And Nancy Allen, who played the main bully, Chris Hargensen, was the last person cast. She and De Palma actually got married later on.
So, with De Palma, he was already known for these Hitchcock-style thrillers. Was he consciously trying to make something more than just a B-movie here?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
The film is incredibly cinematic. Uses long takes, slow motion, that famous split-screen effect, all to heighten the emotion.
He even named the school Bates High School, right?
A direct nod to Psycho. But it's more than just a reference. The film is about how every single structure that's supposed to protect a kid's school, religion, family, not only fails Carrie, but actively abuses her.
That failure is the backdrop for the real conflict, this dual torment she faces. One source we saw called her the worst-treated teenage girl in cinema history.
And it's hard to argue with that. It's a two-front war. At school, it starts with that infamous locker room scene.
It's so shocking. Even today, she's 16, gets her first period, and because her mother never taught her about it, she thinks she's dying.
Total panic. And what do her classmates do? They laugh, they surround her, throwing tampons and pads at her, screaming, "Plug it up!" It's brutal.
Pure psychological savagery. And then she goes home. And it gets worse.
It gets so much worse. She goes home to Margaret White, a religious fanatic who sees womanhood itself as a sin.
Yeah.
And she locks Carrie in that prayer closet.
With the creepy statue of the crucified Christ inside. It's just such a disturbing image.
It's all about linking suffering and sin in her mind. And it's under all this pressure from school, from home, that her powers start to show up.
At first, they're just reactive, right? A light bulb bursts, a mirror shatters.
Exactly. It's pure emotional response. But then she starts to research it. She finds the word telekinesis and realizes she has this internal power. She can fight back.
And what makes the whole thing so tragic is that there are these small moments of kindness that get mixed up in it all.
Two really important ones. The gym teacher, Miss Collins, she genuinely tries to help. She punishes the bullies. She bans Chris from the prom. She's trying to do the right thing.
Even if she does slap Chris in the process. A flawed hero.
A flawed but good institutional figure, yeah? And then you have Sue Snell.
Sue feels real remorse for what she did in the locker room, so she asks her boyfriend, Tommy Ross, to take Carrie to the prom instead of her.
It's this incredible act of kindness, an attempt to give Carrie one good night. And it's the very thing that leads directly to the horror.
Which brings us to the prom. De Palma gives us this beautiful, fragile moment of happiness.
It's almost painful to watch because you know it can't last.
She looks so different in the pink dress. She's dancing with Tommy. They get crowned prom queen and king. She's actually smiling. She feels accepted.
And De Palma slows everything down. It's all dreamlike. He's twisting the knife, making you feel that joy, just so the fall is that much harder.
And while this is happening, Chris and Billy are putting their disgusting plan into action. They've killed pigs, filled a bucket with their blood.
And rigged it right over the stage. It's so low-tech and vile.
And when that bucket tips,
yeah,
the pig's blood just covers her, and her mind just snaps.
It's a complete psychological break. She hallucinates that everyone is laughing at her. Not just the bullies, but everyone.
Yeah.
Tommy, the teachers, everyone. All those years of her mother saying, they're all going to laugh at you, it comes true in her mind.
So she thinks the entire night, even the kindness, was all a trick.
A massive, cruel trick.
Yeah.
And that betrayal is what unleashes the full rampage. It's a total rejection of society.
And the carnage is just absolute. She seals the doors.
Turns a fire hose on the students, crushes Miss Collins with the basketball backboard.
Electrocutes the principal, sets the gym on fire.
And just seals everyone else inside. But it doesn't end there. She catches Chris and Billy as they're trying to escape.
Flips their car over and it just explodes. It's methodical, unstoppable.
And then the final confrontation. She goes home, covered in blood, and her mother is waiting.
And instead of comfort, she gets this final twisted confession about how Carrie was conceived in sin. Margaret calls her a witch and then stabs her in the back.
And Carrie's retaliation is, well, it's thematically perfect. She sends all the kitchen knives flying at her mother.
Crucifying her in the exact same pose as that statue in the closet.
Exactly. It connects everything, the sin, the suffering, the judgment, right back to her mother's fanaticism. Then Carrie just loses control and the whole house comes down on them both.
It's such a cynical ending. The film's answer seems to be that if every institution fails you, faith, school, love, the only thing you can put your faith in is yourself, your own rage.
And your own power. It's an incredibly bleak worldview, but it perfectly captured the feeling of that era.
Despite that bleakness, or maybe because of it, the critics loved it. Roger Ebert called it an absolutely spellbinding horror movie.
But also an observant human portrait. That's key. And it influenced so many filmmakers. Quentin Tarantino has it in his top 10 films of all time.
And it got that high culture recognition that horror films so rarely get.
Right. It was ranked on the AFI's list of 100 greatest thrills. And, most importantly, it got 2 Oscar nominations.
Which is almost unheard of for horror. Best Actress for Sissy Spacek and Best Supporting Actress for Piper Laurie. It proved this was serious drama, not just schlock.
Absolutely. But the thing everyone remembers, the thing that burned itself into our collective brain, is that final jump scare.
Sue Snell's nightmare. She's the only survivor from the prom, and she's visiting the ruins of Carrie's house.
She sees that awful, vandalized for sale sign. Carrie White burns in hell.
And then out of nowhere, that bloody arm shoots out of the ground and grabs her.
And she wakes up screaming. It's a perfect ending. Stephen King himself said De Palma's ending was better than the one in his book.
It's so iconic that it's no wonder they tried to recapture that magic. But the attempts have been messy.
To say the least. You had the sequel, The Rage, Carrie 2, the 2002 TV movie where she unbelievably survives at the end.
To set up a series that never happened.
Thank goodness. And we can't forget the infamous 1988 Broadway musical, one of the biggest flops in history. It just proved you can't easily replicate the specific tone De Palma achieved.
So why does the original endure? I think it's because the themes are just timeless. Bullying, isolation, wanting to be accepted.
They're universal fears.
Hmm.
And Carrie herself is so complex. She does these horrific, unforgivable things, but you never stop seeing her as the victim whose trauma finally turned her into a monster.
So to recap, we've covered the novel being rescued from the trash, Spacek's incredible commitment, the unrelenting cruelty Carrie faced, and that shocking, iconic prom finale.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought. Given that Sue Snell was genuinely trying to be kind, and Miss Collins was genuinely trying to protect her, and both were either killed or traumatized for it, was Carrie's final rampage just about revenge against her tormentors? Or did her trauma become so absolute that she had to destroy the very idea of goodness itself, no matter who it came from?
That is a chilling question. Thanks again for joining us for this deep dive. If you're new here, remember to like and follow for more. And if you found us through the Dark Zero Horror Network, thank you so much for being part of this community. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.